welcome everyone. I presume you know who we are or you wouldn't be here, but there might be some... There might be some people who stumbled in because they heard about the free dessert. So I thought I'd mention, I'm Myrna Petlicki. This is my husband, John Petlicki. And tomorrow we will have been married 51 wonderful years. We couldn't think of a better place to celebrate than at my synagogue, Congregation B'nai Shalom. I want to thank all the wonderful people who helped us. Rabbi Charlene Brooks, Rabbi Shar, the executive director, Barbara Weiner, losing my mind here, the board president, Laura Schwartz, the rabbi's husband, Ken Klinkman, who does everything else around here. So people are always asking, how did you two meet? And we said it was a
chance encounter.
Yeah. Now, chance encounters can be wonderful.
Oh, some are not so wonderful.
And sometimes they just go nowhere. Like when I was a teenager, I had no confidence, and that lasted for decades. So it was kind of surprising to me one day when I was on an escalator, and it kept moving, by the way. The escalator kept moving. And as I was going down on the escalator, there's this handsome young man coming up about my age, and we looked at each other. Our eyes met. He smiled. We had a moment. So it kind of surprised me when a couple of seconds later, I heard him tell a friend that was with him, a girl like that would never go out with me. And we would have made an amazing couple, two people with no self-confidence.
When I was 17, I had no self-confidence either. None. I never went on a date, never had a girlfriend. But my buddy, Frank Piotrowski, and his girlfriend, Marge, said, John, you shouldn't be alone. You should have somebody. And they have found me the perfect match. I said, oh, well, look, I'm busy with schoolwork, and I'm busy with sports, and I'd be uncomfortable. I don't know what to say to a girl. They said, that would be no problem, John. You're into sports. She's into sports. You're athletic. She's athletic. You'd be so comfortable talking to each other. It'd be no problem. I said, well, I'll think about it. So I went home and I asked my dad, Dad, what do you think about a blind date? And he said, no, that's how I met your mother. But Frank persisted. He persisted. He said, John, this is a perfect match. This is a perfect match day after day. So I decided one day after high school was over, we'd walk from St. Rita High School to Limblom High School to meet his girlfriend, Marge, and my perfect match. But when I got in sight of Limblom High School, I saw Marge, but she was talking to some big guy in a motorcycle jacket. When I got closer, I realized that was no guy. That was my perfect match. And it was almost perfect, because she looked exactly like me. So she was very handsome. But she had more hair and she was bigger. Yes, I was into sports. I played tennis and I played basketball. She played weightlifting and wrestling. She wanted to be a professional wrestler. And I went to shake her hand, and instead she just slapped me on the back and said, hello, buddy. I felt something dislocate. I said, this will never be the same. And we had to walk the girls home. And all the while I'm walking like, this is bad. I never went on another blind date. No.
Oh, that was a good idea. I had an irritating, difficult chance encounter. Every summer I'd work, when I was in college, I'd work through a temporary agency, different companies. And I was at one company where it turned out the vice president had his eye on me, or some part of my anatomy, it turns out. So one day I was in the photocopy room, minding my own business, making copies, so I didn't hear him enter, but I did feel it when he slapped me on the rear end. Well, this is way before the Me Too movement. So I didn't report him to HR. I took matters into my own hands, or my own hand to be specific. I turned around and slapped him on the face so hard, his head snapped back. Nobody bothered me all summer. But I've had a better chance encounter. I had one that was wonderful.
Oh, yes, so did I. It was on a stormy dark night. It was raining so hard. You could hear it hit the roof. I was on the third floor apartment at that time, and I could hear it pouring cats and dogs, thunder and lightning outside, but I was warm and comfortable. So I went to watch TV, and I'm sitting watching TV, and there was this bolt of lightning. Everything went out, the lights, the TV, and I sat there because, well, it's going to come back on. And I sat there and said, well, this is no fun. Maybe I'll just get my gym bag, I'll stumble around and find it, and I'll get my umbrella and I'll go to the Y, play some basketball. So I started to leave the apartment.
On that same dark and stormy night, I was at my parents', they had a produce store on Lincoln Avenue, and I was working there after my regular job when my friend Patty called. Now, I live with my parents in the Rogers Park in this building, apartment building, and Patty lived in the building but at a different entrance. Patty was 8 months pregnant. She was hysterical when she called. She said, the power went out, I'm in the dark, and I'm pretty sure I'm in labor. I said, Patty, wait, I'll come right there. So I drove as fast as I could. I went into her entranceway. It was pitch dark, and I had just seen The Godfather, so I was kind of spooked. Anyhow, and I kept ringing her bell, but it was an electric bell, so of course I couldn't reach her. So I was standing there trying to figure out what to do.
As I was leaving the apartment trying to walk down the stairs, I heard some strange shuffling going on, and I wondered, what's going on down there? And then there was this bolt of lightning.
Yeah, there was a bolt of lightning suddenly, and in the reflection I saw a shadowy figure walking down the stairs. He had something in front of him, a long, sharp thing. Oh my God, that's a rifle. I did what any sane person would do. I screamed at the top of my lungs.
The bolt of lightning occurred, and I saw this young woman down the stairs, and she screamed so loud it scared the hell out of me. I thought maybe I'll go back to the apartment, and I thought, no, maybe she's in trouble, so let me call down to her. Hello, my name is John. Can I help you?
Oh, John, I'm so sorry. I must have scared you when I screamed. I'm so sorry. I live in the apartment building too, but different entrance, but my friend Patty lives at this entrance, and Patty's 8 months pregnant, and she called my dad has a store on Lincoln Avenue, a produce store, you know, and she said thought she was in labor, so I came to help her, but I've been trying to ring the bell. So I'm so sorry. I don't know you though. Have you lived in the building long?
No, I moved in about 2 months ago after my divorce.
Oh, you're single, huh?
Yeah, I thought I would move up north to be close to work. I work at Teletype.
Oh, I know the place, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, so do you like it here?
Oh, yeah, I love it. There's a tennis court right across the street, and the YMCA is just a block away, so I could play tennis or basketball.
Wow, what a coincidence. Tennis and basketball are my two favorite sports. Mm-hmm. Nobody believes me. Maybe we can play tennis sometime.
Yeah, sure. How about tomorrow?
Well, if it stops raining, I'd love that. At 2 o'clock?
At 2 o'clock would be great.
I better go now and check the apartment, make sure there's no problem with the rain and the water.
What about Patty?
Who?
Patty, your pregnant friend.
Oh my God, I forgot all about it. Her husband must have picked her up. I'm going to go. I'll see you. I'm going to see you tomorrow too. Well, we played tennis and we talked and talked and talked. And from that day on, we saw each other every single day. My parents were freaked out completely. Mom said, he's divorced, he has 2 kids, you'll never have anything. Pretty funny coming from them. They were so poor, they never owned a house or a car, never went on vacation, and they didn't own this produce market. They rented it and could barely make the rent every month. But we decided to get married anyway.
Yeah. My grandmother said, don't be foolish, John, marry a rich girl. But she would have loved Myrna.
Well, we did get married, and we tried to make everybody happy about it. So since I'm Jewish and John's Catholic, we got a Unitarian minister to marry us. It was wonderful. We met him in his study, and he was wearing a suit, and he was really nice. But the day of our wedding, he wore a black robe with purple trim. My relatives thought he was a priest.
My relatives thought he was a rabbi.
We managed to upset absolutely everybody.
Yes.
But yet, what happened?
Well, what happened is we've been dating for 51 years. And it's been just a wonderful wonderful
Oh,
time.
thank you.
Oh, but when I met Myrna that first night, I couldn't sleep. And some people recommend when you can't sleep, do something repetitive, something boring, they count sheep. But when I went to sleep, I didn't count sheep. I counted all the charms about Myrna. And lately it seems in all of my dreams, I walk with my arms around Myrna. So miracles still happen, and I can thank my lucky stars. They gave me a chance to make Myrna mine, all mine.
I'm going to let you finish our story. Tell them some more about our married life, if you can get the thing in the little thing there.
It's always a problem getting that thing in there, right?
Yeah. That's a technical term that we've used often.
Well, Myrna's been a wonderful benefit to my life. It's just, I can't thank her enough. But yet, when I retired, quite a few years ago, I retired, and I had this wonderful retirement plan. Oh, I had a TV that got hundreds of channels. I had a lazy boy recliner, and I had a remote control. I could sit and watch TV day after day after day after day. And then Myrna got tired of it. She took away my remote control. She said, stand up and do something. That's when I started doing stand-up. And ever since I've been doing stand-up, I found one thing, that there is no difference between stand-up comedians and everyone else. No difference between you and me. Everyone, we're the same. For instance, we use drugs. Now, how many people here use drugs? Yeah, the last place I was at, 100% of the audience raised their hand. I was at an assisted living facility. It's called Sunrise of Lincoln Park. Actually, the people there were so old, I kept saying, oh, this is Sunset of Lincoln Park? No. Sunrise of Lincoln Park, and they're so old, and they get pills. They get pills morning, noon, and night. In fact, when the nursing staff saw my comedy performance, they decided that their patients need more pills. They handed out more pills to fortify while I'm performing. And yet, they loved me. They wanted me to stay. They said, you could use our help. Apparently, I was older than most of the residents. It was kind of weird. And maybe I should have stayed because I am old. But I remember when I was young, there were no aches and no pains. It was no good because I was a hypochondriac. I was always worried about something. I was. And yet when my pals would see me, they'd say, Carpe diem, how are you? And I'd answer, Carpe diem, I'm fine. Even though I said I'm fine, it was a lie. Deep down, I was worried that I had something that was undiagnosed. Now I'm old. Now when my friends see me, they still say, Carpe diem, how are you? And I answer, carpal tunnel, tendonitis, bursitis, tinnitus, macular degeneration, glaucoma, apnea, GERDs, double bypass, some stents installed, atrial fibrillation, so they put a Watchman procedure, diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, spinal stenosis with a little hip dysplasia. I got this bone spur and arthritis, and lately I have this darn ingrown toenail in my... Otherwise, I feel fine. At least I'm not a hypochondriac. So now I'm one of those people that takes pills morning, noon, and night. I take pills before meals, after meals. I take so many pills, sometimes I skip the meal. I just have pills between pills. But when you take pills, you have to read the side effects. You have to worry about the side effects. There's warnings. Now, some of the side effects are simple, right? You might get a headache, you might get nausea. Don't worry about that. They have pills for headache and nausea. But sometimes they say, oh, this might cause confusion. It might cause uncontrollable muscle spasms. It might cause impaired thinking. You are told to call your doctor. Now, what person with impaired thinking is going to follow that advice? They're going to think impaired, right? I'm going to drive to the office immediately. You might get a warning that this could cause boils, lice, locusts, death of the firstborn. It means you're in Egypt. Just get out of Egypt. So, if you're over 55 and your eyesight is diminishing and your hearing is diminishing, but you still have an erection, you're taking too much Viagra. It's not reaching your head, right? Stop taking the Viagra. Now, I actually had medicine. It said, after a long list of side effects, can cause heart attack or death. Somebody thinks that death is a side effect. I don't think. Can you picture the doctor's office? The nurse saying, gee, Johnny didn't come in today, and he didn't call. The doctor said, oh, dear, he must have taken the medicine. He should have read the warning label. Send flowers to his family and send a heads up to our legal department. But the doctors hadn't killed me. They've made me survive this long enough to have 51 wonderful years of marriage with this woman. And 51 years, and they said it wouldn't last. All the people that knew us said it wouldn't last because our families were incompatible. Incompatible. Well, you know, I was a South Side boy, and she was a North Side girl. And you know what those North Side girls are like. She was a Cubs fan. I can remember my mother saying, no, nah, don't fall in love with a Cubs girl. Every spring she'll raise your expectations. And every summer she'll dash them to the ground. And she'll do that year after year after year. My Uncle Henry said, no, Cubs fans are not right in the head. They dress up in uniforms to go to the game. They think they're going to be called to play. Can you see the manager walking out? Hey, you got the peanuts. Come on down. Number 17, come on down. Center field. You. Oh, no, I can't use you. I already have a number 17. Number 19, come on down. It'd be crazy. There was another incompatibility. Her family read books. My family is the family of big shoulders. And we exercise those shoulders. You get asked, who made this mess here? I don't know. You say, who's the charge here? I don't know. Hey, I think you guys could benefit from having big shoulders. All you have to do is this exercise every morning. Do it 10 times. I don't know. And don't go, I didn't know. No. I don't know. And you keep doing that exercise until they stop asking you all those stupid questions. There was another incompatibility that was more serious. Some of her family members suffered from alcoholism. Suffered from alcoholism. My family enjoyed alcoholism. We supported the 3 bars that were on our block. Oh, we could have learned to read books. We could have had family members that could have become somebody. They could have become lawyers. But they never would have been able to pass a bar. Any bar. But we were 2 people in love. Despite our family incompatibilities, what would we do? We married anyway, right? We married and it was easy for me to do. It was easy because I saw this tall, shapely, raven-haired beauty. I have to ask you guys right now, did you ever see a woman so beautiful that your heart skipped a beat? Skipped a beat. Even today, 51 years later, she could still make my heart skip a beat. And when it does, a bell rings in my doctor's office. Ding, 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 ding. The doctor calls me up. Your heart monitor is acting up again. Stop doing what you're doing. I tell him I can't stop doing what I'm doing. And he says, hey, we're old, but we still spoon. We spoon, and if it kills me, right, guys? Hey, okay, we're bigger than a spoon. We ladle. We ladle. And I must be one of the best ladlers in the world, because Myrna, she said that you must be the best husband in the world. Well, see, the complete sentence was, You must be the best husband in the world, but I've had such a small sample. What do I know? So you know why I married her, but why did she marry me? What did she see in me? Well, back in my era, my era, post-Paleolithic, it's in your history books, 1950s, and I was handsome. People would see me go by and say, he's so handsome, he must be gay. And I was built like a rock. Like a rock. Women would run up to me and they'd feel that arm. They'd say, oh, feel this arm, feel this arm. He must work out. Even today, I can't sit and rest and close my eyes for a few minutes without some woman running up to me and grabbing my arm and saying, feel this arm, feel this arm. I can't find a pulse. Defibrillator clear. See, women will just find any excuse just to touch me. I've still got it. Oh, yeah. Many young, beautiful, intelligent, educated women are after me. Most of them in the nursing profession. And I could date any one of them. Any one of them. And I could, except Myrna won't let me. Oh, have a little memory thing. Actually, a few years ago, she said, you could date anyone you please. I said, I could date anyone I please. How many guys could say that? I could date anyone I please. She said, don't worry about it. You're not going to please anyone. That's the advantage of old age. The advantage of old age is that I don't have to please anyone, right? I don't have anything to look forward to. I can look back onto the good old days now. Yeah, I look backward. I remember the good old days. You remember the good old days? Back long ago, we had hot summer, hotter than they are this year. And on hot summer nights, we had no TV. We had no air conditioning. Everybody would sit outside and they would talk to each other. Neighbors go by, we'd talk to each other. But it was no good because you couldn't understand each other. Everybody had an accent. Now, the older the people were, the thicker the accent. And my buddy Bobo said, John, that's what happens when you get old. When you get old, you get an accent, and nobody understands you. I said, Bobo, that's ridiculous. We have people from other countries. We got people from Poland, Lithuania, Arkansas. I said that because Bobo was from Arkansas. And even though he was young, he already had an accent. He thought "weird" was a 3-syllable word. My grandpa was from Poland. And I'll never forget the day he came down the stairs and he had a phone book and he said, gave the phone book to me, he said, find pots. Pots. Okay, Grandpa, I don't think there's a category for pots in the phone book. But probably you're looking to grow something. You're looking to grow vegetables or flowers or something. So I'll look up garden supply stores. Not pots, pots. He always got excited when you didn't understand him. Pots. Oh, you probably mean, okay, you want pots to cook in. There's ironclad pots. I could call up kitchen supply stores. It's not pots, pots, auto pots, auto pots. Grandpa was always difficult to understand, but he also had extremely strong opinions on everything. And he was the patriarch of our family. So whenever the family had an important decision to make, they would ask Grandpa, what is the right thing to do? And then after Grandpa talked, the family would step aside and say, what did Grandpa say? What did he mean? When we figured out what Grandpa meant, what he thought was right, then we would do the exact opposite. See, now you have opinions, right? Everybody's got opinions, and some of your opinions are right. But admit it, some of your opinions are probably wrong. Well, Grandpa was always wrong. Always wrong. So the family used Grandpa logic. Grandpa logic. And I use it even today. Even today, when I am in an unusual situation, I say, what would Grandpa do? And then I do the opposite. And it worked for me. Oh, that's why I'm here today. Judge the soundness for yourself. Grandpa was always something, and I never wanted to be like Grandpa. I never. My life goal was actually to be the opposite of Grandpa. But every day that goes by, I'm becoming more and more Grandpa. And it's not just happening to me. It's happening to you and you and you. It's happening to everyone here. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It doesn't matter if you're a boy or a girl. It doesn't matter if you have grandchildren or not. We all have those Grandpa genes inside of us. And it's like a seed sitting there germinating, getting stronger. And then one day it's going to break out, and you're going to do things your grandpa did, things you don't want to do. You're going to start talking about the good old days. You're going to start developing strong opinions about things you know nothing about. You're going to start speaking Polish. Dobrze witak, panie panowie. Jestem stara. Czy rozumiesz po polsku? It's happening to me. It's happening to me. Bobo was right. When you're old, you get an accent. Americans won't understand me if I'm speaking Polish. Polish people won't understand me because I have an accent. Bobo was right. When you go old, you just stop listening to people. You just stop. You don't understand them. But before you stop listening to me, I have an important, logical question that maybe you could help me with. It's, if I am becoming Grandpa, should I do what I think is right, or should I do the opposite? How many people think I should do what I think is right? How many people think I should do the opposite? Right? Opposite. You convinced me. I'm going to keep on talking.
Wait just a minute before you keep on. Have a seat. You skipped over something. You didn't talk about our honeymoon where you made a really weird decision.
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. Okay. John planned the whole trip. Last time we got to do that, he took me to the Missouri Ozarks, to the Lodge of the Four Seasons. We drove up, and it was a beautiful forested area. And we drove, and we drove, and the forested area went forever. I watch a lot of murder mysteries. I'm thinking, this is where the bride disappears, and they never find her. It didn't help that they had a very weird emblem. It was like a funny face. Did anybody ever see the show The Prisoners years ago? It was about these people held captive on an island, and they could never leave because this big balloon was following them. Well, the balloon looked just like this image. So I'm freaking out thinking, what do I really know about this man? I know I'm going to disappear. And then suddenly, we're in a clearing, and there's an adorable little log cabin. Wait a second. Maybe he's not a serial bride killer. Maybe he is, in fact, romantic. And turns out he was. He carried me over the threshold. That was many pounds ago. He carried me over the threshold. Once inside, we saw it had a waterbed and a wood-burning fireplace. It was so romantic until I woke up in the middle of the night and saw my new husband carrying a burning log out of the cabin. I just looked at him, and he looked at me and said, "Don't worry, go back to sleep, dear." Like I was ever going to sleep again. Well, the next day, in the morning after a sleepless night, I said, "Why did you carry that burning log out of the building?" And he said, "Well, I've never had a wood-burning fireplace, and I was afraid we'd get asphyxiated. I couldn't get it out, so I took care of it." Well, it took me a long time. About 7 years ago, I finally said, "What did you do with the burning log?" He said, "Oh, I threw it in the swimming pool." About that same time, we decided to relive our honeymoon. So I tried to make reservations to the Lodge of the Four Seasons. They don't have log cabins anymore, thanks, dear. They don't have wood-burning fireplaces. That's your doing, too. And the outdoor pool is even gone. They don't want any burning logs in there, I guess. But anyhow, why don't you tell them the rest of the story?
Well, maybe Myrna remembers, shortly after we met, before we got married, she told me she worked at a little store on Lincoln Avenue near Beaumont. Avenue. And I decided one rainy day to visit her there. And it was a lucky April shower. It was the most convenient door. I found $1 million baby at a 5 and 10 cent store. The rain continued for an hour. I hung around for 3 or 4. Around $1 million baby had a 5 and 10 cent store. She was selling candy, and when she made those eyes, I kept buying candy till I was twice my size. Incidentally, if you should run into a shower, step inside my cottage door and meet $1 million baby from the 5 and 10 cent store. What was she selling? She was selling candy. And when she made those eyes, I kept buying candy till I was twice my size. Incidentally, if you should run into a shower, step inside my cottage door and meet $1 million baby from the 5 and 10 cent store. I usually don't sing. That's Myrna's fault. She made me sing when I was in my 70s. I never sung before that. But she was the $1 million baby, and I was the 5 and 10 cent guy. There's no doubt about that, because Myrna must have figured that I had some money problems at our very first date. On our first date, I told her I would take her out to eat at a local restaurant. And after the date, she said, "I don't think McDonald's is a restaurant." And then she looked at my table, and I had all these papers on there. She picked up, "This is a bill. This is your second notice on the gas. Oh, my goodness sakes, this is terrible." I said, "Don't worry about it." Then she picked up another paper and said, "This is electric. Second notice on your electric bill. What? This is terrible. They could turn off your electricity at any time." I said, "Don't worry about it." I picked up another bill. This is a second notice on your car payment. What on earth are you thinking?" Now, I have to ask you guys, when a woman asks you, "What on earth were you thinking?" have you ever come up with a good answer? Right now, when she says, "What on earth are you thinking?" I just say, "I wasn't thinking." "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But back then, I didn't know that. Back then, I told her, "Well, these people don't get serious until they send you the third and final notice. Besides, they're like friends. They call, they write, they're in contact with me all the time. I am sure that they will make sure I always have a job, because if I don't have a job, they're not getting paid." From that point on, Myrna handled all the finances. Now, I haven't signed anything in decades. I'm not even sure what my signature looks like. But I'm pretty sure if I sign a check, the bank would have me arrested for forging my signature. But we also have a wonderful credit rating. That's Myrna's fault. Myrna also found out that I had problems with the calendar. Calendar dates mean next to nothing to me. It doesn't matter if it's a holiday, anniversary, birthday. But one day I was driving home from work. It was early in our marriage. And on the radio, the announcer said, Valentine's Day, I hope you got your sweetheart some nice gifts. And I said, oh my goodness, it's Valentine's Day. So I went to Sears Roebuck. And I picked up 4 boxer shorts and a long handle axe. And I drove home and gave them to Myrna for Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day. Myrna looked at the boxer shorts and says, I was expecting something like silky and a little more feminine. They were men's boxer shorts, but... and then I showed her the long handle axe. And she said, what on earth are you thinking? And I told her that, I was thinking that if you can't use these presents, I can. The boxer shorts are my size, and there's a tree in the back that I have to cut down. So it would be next. So from that point on, Myrna doesn't let me buy any gifts anymore. Occasionally, like recently, I saw the Amazon truck outside. I said, what's that Amazon truck doing here? She says, bringing our anniversary gift up. Oh, I hope you like what I got you. Now, Myrna thinks that maybe the calendar problems I have and money problems I have related to memory. defective memory, so she's always testing my memory. And some of the test questions are easy. She'll say, do you, John, know where you're at? Do you, John, know what day it is? It's Tuesday night at Zany's, so it's no problem at all. Easy question. But sometimes she asks hard questions that I can't answer. What is element 59 of the periodic table? What's the normal form of a polynomial expression? If train A leaves the station at 7:15, I can't answer those questions, so it makes me wonder about my memory. But then there's a memory test that women pull on men, and I'm warning you guys, this is going to happen to you. We were out having cocktails last night, or maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago, but we were out having cocktails, and Myrna asked me to close my eyes and describe what she was wearing. And it was easy. It was easy. She was dressed so sexy. She had these long black burlesque stockings, came up mid-thigh, and from there it was black lace garter belts going up to her panties. And then she had this micro short mini skirt, plaid, and then she had this low-cut white blouse which showed that there was a mole near her left nipple. And then Myrna hit me. She hit me because I described what our cocktail waitress was wearing. I think Myrna was wearing something purple or something like that. So watch. But you know, a guy could take tests only so long. You could only get tests so long, and you get tired of it. One morning, Myrna woke me up and said, I hope you remember what day this is. Yeah. I hope you remember the day. Yeah, I'm tired of testing. So she went off to work, and when I got up, I went to the calendar. It wasn't a holiday. It wasn't an anniversary. We had no meetings with doctors or lawyers or anything like that. I didn't know what day it is. Must be a special day, right? Because why would she insist what day this is? So I did what any man here would do. I bought flowers. I lit candles. I put on romantic music. And when Myrna came home, I said, see, dear, I remember our special day. And she said, it's garbage day. Did you take out the garbage? So now every garbage day, I buy flowers, light candles, put on romantic music, and take out the garbage. But why doesn't the calendar have garbage day on it? Why is it so important? This is a mental thing that I have, but Myrna tried to keep us physically fit too. Even after Myrna had a brand new knee put in, which was about a decade ago, when she had a brand new knee, in that very same year, we entered a 5K, walk through the woods, that same year. And we finished first and second in our age category. There was nobody else in our age category. In fact, there was nobody, we were in the 70 plus, there was nobody in the 60 plus. So we were first in that category too. There were about 400 people in this walk, and we were last and second to last. But we wouldn't have been last, but in the last 100 meters, this woman with a buggy, pregnant woman with a buggy, walking a dog, passed us at the last 100 meters. Now, we entered this race 3 years in a row, and 3 years in a row, she did us in the last 100 meters. She passed us by, and we came last. Wouldn't have been last if it was for her, but the very first race we were in, we were so long, I remember the course officials were worried about us. Are we still there? And they were very discreet because it was in the woods, and I could hear them following us, saying, oh, they're still moving. Let them go. They're still moving. You know. The third year that we entered the race, they asked us if we would pick up the course markers when we went by because nobody else is going to be behind us. It's going to be. That's when we were a little more active. It was a decade ago. But when you get older, have I told you that I have a TV that gets hundreds of channels and a remote control and a lazy boy? All this would be empty without a companion, right? You need a companion. Well, I have a cat. It's an orange tabby called Pumpkin. And Pumpkin will sit on my lap and sleep, and I could pet Pumpkin. And boy, there's nothing like having a cat sleep on your lap. What do you do when a cat sleeps on your lap? Nothing. You don't want to disturb a sleeping cat, right? And Myrna will say, hey, can you come help me with the dishes? I said, well, I would if I could, dear, but I have a cat on my lap. She's a cat lover also, so she understands. So, okay, I pet the cat. And then the doorbell rings and Myrna says, could you answer the door? Oh, I would if I could, dear, but I have a cat on my lap. So they'll just have to wait till somebody, maybe Myrna, answers the door. And then one day I said, Myrna, I need some milk and cookies. Could you bring them? I would if I could, but I have a cat on my lap. And Myrna comes around the corner and she sits down in the lazy boy across from me. No milk, no cookies, but she's got this black cat in her lap. Batman, the Dark Avenger. And there we are, petting our cats, looking at each other. First cat that leaves, that person has to do the chores. You can feel the tension in the air. Myrna versus John, mano a mano. Pumpkin versus Batman, gato a gato. And eventually one of us has to do the chores. That's how we spend our days nowadays, except when Myrna has to get me to the doctor. And she's been instrumental in getting me to all sorts of doctors. I mentioned I have a doctor every part. Most recently, I got a doctor for hearing. She said, when we were first married, Johnny dearest, you don't listen to me or something like that. Lately, she's been saying, John, you don't hear me. And your hearing is causing a great deal of embarrassment. The waiter asked you if you want cream or sugar, and you said chicken soup. You went to the hospital and told them the doctor wanted you tested for Mensa. It was MRSA. MRSA. So, okay, let me go get the hearing doctor. The hearing doctor tests me. I think his name was Dr. Hull or something like that. He tests me, and then he came back and he said, you flunked your urine test. I didn't take a urine test, and everything I have is prescribed. He said, you flunked your urine test. I didn't take a urine test. And then he looked at me and said, hearing! You flunked your hearing test. And here's a prescription for a hearing aid. I said, well, I'll fill it when I need it. He said, not so soon. Not so soon. I want to show you a chart. So he showed me a chart. And on the chart, I more or less have normal hearing except at this high frequency. He said, you can't hear women talk. What's the problem? He said, not so fast. Not so fast. We found out that when people have deteriorated hearing, their IQ drops. And you can't afford to lose any more IQ points. So I got a hearing aid. And I'm driving Myrna home, but I hear this tick, 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 tick. And I said, Myrna, these hearing aids have a static in them. It's bothering me. I can't take it. Tick, tick. She says, what's the static? I said, it's going tick, tick. She said, that's your turn signal. It's been on all this time. Oh, I didn't know that. It's just, that's why cars are honking at you. They're honking at me? Yeah. They're honking. We have a lot of specialist doctors I've gone to, but I also have a regular doctor. I call him my regular doctor because that's his job. Make me regular. He wants me to lose 50 pounds. 50 pounds? I said, last year I was here and you only wanted me to lose 30 pounds. What's the difference? He says, last year you were taller. According to the height weight charts, next week I have to be 6'5" if I want to be this weight. But I know he wants me to do healthy things. Every day he told me he wants me to drink 8 big glasses of water. He wants me to walk an hour a day. Well, I'll tell you, when I drink 8 big glasses of water, I'm not walking anywhere. So I just don't do the advice. And then when he sees me, he says, are you following my advice? And I said, oh, I forgot. And he says, oh, wait. Now he tests me for dementia. He's worried about memory. He has a simple dementia test. He gives me 4 words at the beginning of a session, and I have to repeat the 4 words at the end of the session. So at the end of every session, he asked me over and over, he asked me this over and over. It's beginning to insult my intelligence. He uses the same 4 words. At the end of every session, I have to say, I must pay now. And that's it. No matter how old you get, you have to have money. You have to pay. And what are us old folks going to do to make money? Are we going to take out late night TV ads like those young bikini girls? Young bikini girls prancing around a pool, you could tell they're young. They still have all their teeth. And then there's this one young bikini girl by the pool on the phone saying, "Call now, my parents are not at home." This isn't an episode of To Catch a Predator. It's a late night TV ad. Dial 1-800-WE-ARE-18. 18, hee, just barely legal. Really. I have to admit this. Every time I see that girl in a bikini, I want to spank her. Does anybody else want to spank that girl in a bikini? Having strangers call on her when her parents are not at home, that girl needs discipline. I'll do it. Besides, if you call that girl, 1-800-WE-ARE-18, you don't talk to that girl. You talk to somebody who sounds like a girl. You talk to my cousin Stashu. He dug dishes in the day and he talked dirty at night to support his 7 kids. The family was concerned about Stashu's job, and in the family we talked about it quite a bit, and we agreed, he has 7 kids because he talks dirty at night. But I had a personal conversation with Stashu, and we agreed on one thing, that people need more than a few minutes of sensational fantasy sex. People need to be loved even when they're not having sex. People need sensational fantasy grandparents. That's a job us old people could do, right? Hey, if you want to be adored, if you want to be admired, if you want unconditional love, if you want a relationship that's free of sexual performance anxiety, dial 1-800-WE-ARE-80. Wait. We offer more. You get unconditional love, but maybe you have a lump that concerns you, a cough, some sneeze, some irritation that just won't go away, and you're worried about it, but you're too cheap to see a doctor. Dial 1-800-WE-ARE-80. We will talk symptoms with you all day long. Hourly rates are available. Wait. We offer more than unconditional love. We offer more than just a sympathetic ear. You might have problems. Severe, heavy, big problems, girl problems, boy problems, money problems. Call 1-800-WE-ARE-80. We will make your problems seem insignificant compared to our bigger problems. Call 1-800-WE-ARE-80. Call 1-800-WE-ARE-80. We are waiting for your calls. But we can't wait long. Our time is running out.
They can't wait to eat.
Can't wait to eat, guys.
Okay, so I want to once again thank Rabbi Charlene Brooks, our Rabbi Shar, Barbara Weiner, the executive director here, Laura Schwartz, I'm going to forget your last name, who is the board president, and Ken Klinkman, who does everything else here. And thank you so much. We're going to have a little blessing and a toast by Rabbi Shar, and then we'll open the buffet for desserts. Thank you all for coming. Standing ovation. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll be selling programs in the lobby.